Worship leader, whose armor do you need to shed today? Whose identity that you've been trying on, or the identity of another church, do you perhaps need to shed today and just be who God has called you to be? Listen to this, 1 Samuel 17, the story of David and Goliath. It says this in verse 37, "Then David said, 'The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine.' Saul said to David, 'Go, and may the Lord be with you.'" And sometimes I think we need to stop there, right, in terms of our identity. But then listen to what happens. Verse 38, "Then Saul had his own military clothes and put them on David. He put a bronze helmet on David's head and it put on his armor. And David strapped his sword over the military clothes and tried to walk, but he was not used to them. And he said, 'I can't walk in these.' David said to Saul, 'I'm not used to them.' So David took them off, and instead he took his staff and he searched for those 5 stones. He used what was in his hand, what he was familiar with, what he was trained in. And I just think the lesson for us in this, for us in this as worship leaders, right, is so often we try on the identity of perhaps the church down the street or the Bethels and the Elevations and the Hillsongs, not saying those places are wrong, right? But I think so often we could try to emulate those things so much to the point that we really lose the identity of who we are and who God has called us to be and how God has fashioned us uniquely. Psalm 139, and then not only us individually, but how he's fashioned our local church community uniquely, right? To impact the community that we are in, not another community across the states or another community across the world, but to impact the community that's uniquely fashioned with unique people that are also made in God's image. So worship leader, just today, this hit my heart this morning. I asked myself the question, whose armor am I trying on that I need to perhaps shed? Whose identity have I tried to put on that I need to shed and just be and walk in the identity that God has called me to walk in today, and to serve the people around me with a willing heart, right? Just as God has fashioned me to be. I hope that encourages you as a worship leader today, as you lead even this weekend. Man, be who God has called you to be. Lean into the community that's around you. Don't search for greener pastures that are across another fence, right? There will always be another greener pasture. Man, serve the community that you are placed in and bloom where you are planted. I hope this encourages you today. God bless you.